I see spaghetti and meatballs staring at me. Spaghetti and meatballs staring at me. Get yourself a serving, maybe two. Talking Bulls basketball is what we do. Get your garlic bread and your dish of the week on spaghetti and meatballs. Oh yeah, spaghetti and meatballs. Don't forget the Parmesan cheese.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Spaghetti and meatballs. My buddy John and myself, Trevin. How are you, buddy?
How am I personally or as one of the meatballs?
Well, you know I always care about how you're doing personally.
Oh, personally, I'm great.
Okay, but specifically on the Bulls, how are you doing?
Oh, not well.
Yeah.
How are you? Same question.
I'm personally fantastic.
Yeah.
But Bulls wise, it's just not good. But you know, as we discussed a little bit pregame, it's kind of exciting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it is. We have a little different format today.
Yep.
Slightly. Let's just. Hey, I'm gonna get. You got any shout outs?
Yeah, so I'm going to give a shout out, the one I was going to give last week. I figured it out, and I apologize for not remembering the name. But so a little bit over a month ago, my sister got married, and they had, it was just this little trailer, like an event trailer that pulls up and serves drinks and has a keg there and stuff.
Yep.
It's called Poppin' Wheelies. Okay, I believe they're out of Streeter. Two wonderful young ladies running the show back there, and I'm wearing my Bulls hat.
Yeah,
it was a casual affair.
So
I'm wearing my Bulls hat. She goes, "Oh, are you a Bulls fan?" I said, "Well, yes, I am." And we discussed a little bit about our feelings on the upcoming season. And so I say, "Well, me and my good friend do a Bulls podcast," and she was all over it. Spaghetti and meatballs. She loved the name.
Oh,
she said she's gonna check it out. So
we got. You know what? We got to get back into our Apple account and upload it to.
Well, yeah, we have to figure that because see if you can get back into it.
I will check it out because I know it was on my end.
Yeah.
So when we get this, I'll send it to you, and then I'll try to get it up on Apple at least next week.
Yeah.
So we'll give everybody a little Thanksgiving treat.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, we do need to figure out that audio end of it to, for those of us who can't enjoy watching us.
Yeah. And my shout out is just to a mutual friend who he's always supported us, and I don't think he's getting enough credit. Francis Murray. He bought some merch.
That's a solid call out right there. We love you.
I'm still debating if we truly designed this merch, we were deep in our gummy game that day.
Which is a possibility. Possibility.
It was close to phrases we could have said on the show. So I'm going to give old Frankie Murr benefit of the doubt and say thanks for the support wearing the merch.
Oh, Frank Diddy, we love you, buddy. We love you.
Go Rita, go. So let's get into the show. I'm going to try to stay, before we get into this new segment we kind of talked about way earlier today via text, something positive I've seen lately. And that is the emergence of Coby White defensively.
Yes.
I think he offers so much on the defensive end that, I mean, he's taken charges. I forget if we were playing Phoenix or Milwaukee, and it was like one of their bigger guys, and he got in there and just like blocking people out. Just doing it, man.
Yeah, you can definitely tell there is a concentrated effort on his part to be better defensively. And we've discussed it before, and I mean, no knock on anyone who's not good defensively, but it's always, to me, seemed like an effort kind of a thing, and just understanding where to be. You don't have to be, like you're in the NBA, so physically you're gifted. You know what I mean? So I think he's just, after the shoulder injury from the season before, he was feeling comfortable offensively, and you can definitely tell that he, like, over the offseason and the beginning part of this season, it's like a big focus.
The light bulb is like one.
Yes.
And I think, and there's a lot of problems with this team, but I think it's like we have so many like one-way players, whether it's offensively or defensively, and it's like it's hard to get a cohesive unit out there when it's like Zach and DeMar and Vooch are so just offensively minded.
Yeah.
Russo, Patrick Williams, Torrey Craig, more on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Andre, you got like guys that are strictly defensive and they give you a little bit of a spark offensively. It's great. I just think if Kobe can really, like, he's always been such a great offensive player, bring so much offensively that it's like if we can get this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there because, offensively, although he's had some awkward moments finding his spot sometimes, but like he's always had that. And with his age, he's definitely our, I mean, when you look at the roster top to bottom, he's one of the few people that you can count on both ends. Not that he's going to blow you away offensively, but he's been pretty consistent this season so far.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm just going to tell the fans, here's what we got. The new segment, and I don't want to get into it yet because I want to go on a rant. And I know you have some things you need to get off your chest.
I'm excited about this.
So Trevor and I were texting today, as we do, and we were just in a really bad spot. And we said, let's each come up with our own trade. This is all fictional. We're not talking to our guys in the locker room. We're not talking to anybody. This isn't KC texting us. This is just something we would like to see that we think would be a good trade for the Bulls to make.
Yes.
But before I get there, it's just the play. Here's my thing lately is that we get into such a hole that it's like, how the hell are we going to win this game? We're down 19-3.
Yeah.
We're down 24-14.
Yeah.
It's like, God dang, every time I turn around,
I know
we start a game and
I know. And that was a common theme last year as well.
Yes.
And they exert so much energy in that third quarter or second quarter to get back into the game and kind of make it manageable that I feel like the last 6 minutes, they just don't have enough of it left, especially against teams like Milwaukee and Phoenix and, some of those better teams. But yeah, it was against the Magic. They were down, I think the first quarter or the second quarter started and it was 21-21. And then the next thing you know, it was 38-22.
It was
just like that. And it was with their second unit. Who's there?
Gary Harris was doing a number out there.
Yeah. They didn't even have Paolo. He was sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Banchero. God.
Yeah, that's his name.
They got a good young core. Jeez. Okay, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope there.
Yeah, real slippery. But yeah, just lately
and then that's even worse is that you see him climb back into it because that game, for example, I kind of quit watching for a while. For your mental health, you just got to do it.
You do. You
every
really
once
do.
in a while. And so I tuned back in, and they're chipping away, only to watch them lose it like they did. It's
well, and I would say at least we're making a concerted effort to shoot more threes because before us getting back, we've always said one of the biggest issues with the Bulls when they get these huge deficits is that it takes DeMar 16 seconds to get to his spot and get a shot up. We got to clear it out and pump it down into Vooch to get a post move. There's another 14, 12 seconds.
Yes, there's not a lot of quick offense.
Yeah, so it's okay, we're down by 19, so that's a solid half a quarter or more if everything goes our way for us to crawl back into it.
Right, to maybe cut it down to 8 by the end of the quarter. Yeah.
And I will say, they're not giving up.
Well, yeah, I do give them credit for that too, because I feel like that game the other night against Orlando could have easily just been, just gotten way out of hand. So
and the same thing with that Phoenix game, because I was watching it with my son, and it was, I'm not kidding, it was either 19-3 or like 19-6. Like,
yeah.
It started like 11-0. It was like an 11-0 run to start the game. I'm like, okay, this is great.
So I think we've arrived at the point here then in this episode where we need to just be real with everyone that the writing's on the wall. The news came out about Zach and his guys wanting to explore a trade. So it's time, which that's why I say like things aren't good, but I'm at least like excited to see what's next, because what have 3 years of this now, and there have been probably very few people who have held out as much hope and have been as optimistic as we have been.
Yes, 100%.
So that's why we want to get into a few different trade ideas and trade proposals, maybe, because, like I said, the writing's on the wall. Now we just have to hope that we can get the most for the few assets that we have.
And here's my thing too. Before I get into mine or you get into yours, I don't know what you were thinking, but like, I want the youngest assets, the trade. Like, I don't want Kyle. Like, I understand the like salary moves, like, but right. Just for my own freaking well-being, like, I understand like the long pick, like the big picture, and you're like, oh, but we're canceling out some salaries and we're opening up some space. And it's like, I get it, but for me to sit there and tune in, if I have to see Kyle Lowry, dude, I have to see like.
I swear to God, if I see one more trade with Kyle Lowry, I'm going to lose my mind. I can't take it anymore.
And then, like, all these people are like, yes, this is awesome, like, on these, like, tweets. And I'm like, what is awesome about us? Okay. Like.
Yeah, because, that's it. I either want draft picks and not 2028 draft picks. I think at the very latest, I want picks in 2026. That's the very latest I want to talk.
Yeah, and I wasn't even going that far. I was like,
right.
This
really,
year or next.
Yes, right. And I totally agree. But at the very late, like if it was a good offer and it would, okay, I'll take a 2026 first round pick.
Yep.
But these a 2030 first round swap with the Lakers.
Yes.
No. That's probably going to be bad for us.
Yes.
We're going to be losing draft spots.
My other thing when we talk about the draft is we've talked about this on the show. The Bulls only keep this pick top 10 protected this year.
Yeah.
So we need to start sucking, because right now we're just in our purgatory.
Yes.
We're in no man's land. We are a 9-10 spot. We're a late lottery. We're 12 to 16 or something like that. Like, we're not bad enough to keep our own pick.
Right. That same old familiar spot.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want that. I want to you and I have mentioned this many times. The Detroit Pistons, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Gosh, give me I would trade in a heartbeat.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Who are like some of these? Obviously, down in San Antonio, that's a whole different animal. But like some of these, I think Indianapolis has done a great. They're like, some of these teams are like, they were bottom feeders for a while, or maybe still mingling down there, but they got young talent. They got draft picks. Like, they're fun.
Yeah, right. I agree. I even like what Indiana's done. They're young and athletic, and at least can maybe think about a bright future.
Yes.
That's all I want.
That's all I want. So you want to get into it? Should we get into our trade scenarios?
Okay, yeah. So I to prepare for this show, I was flipping through the channels and I saw the Punisher was on.
Oh.
So I thought it was appropriate that I watched the Punisher, and I just went through trade scenario after trade scenario, crumpled this one up, throw it away. This one's interesting, whatever. So I'm going to go with one that I saw like propose this. This is not my
okay.
All right. But I do have some ideas on like some tweaks to maybe make it better.
Okay.
But it involves the aforementioned Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is one that you've seen like a legitimate, or is it like somebody like on a Reddit type, like, hey, this is what I'd like to see?
Let me look and see. This was from The Athletic.
Okay.
All right. So not a totally completely far out there, just like you and me posting something on Reddit, whatever.
No.
So
there we go.
There's been a little bit of
so I don't want to interrupt you, but can we write these down and post it on Twitter with a poll?
Oh, I like that. So actually, to prepare for this, I got out the old whiteboard. Okay. I wrote it down on here. So, but
I'm going to write it down too.
So to preface this, there is the Pistons, as young and as talented as they are, have started off the season 2-8.
Yeah.
They have finished the last 4 seasons with under 23 wins. So I think they're itching to get a winning team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
There's also now the centerpiece in what this trade would be. Jaden Ivey, last year's top 5 pick, has been coming off the bench and is not too happy about
what I've heard.
So the proposed trade would be Zach LaVine to the Pistons, and the Bulls would receive Jaden Ivey, James Wiseman, and Joe Harris. I realize that's probably backwards now to anyone who's looking at it.
No. It looks good.
So,
I like that.
Well, and the other little thing that you could, that's good about that is Joe Harris is somebody that could be flipped.
Yep.
Come closer to the trade deadline. So, as much as I, would love to get draft picks, and again, we're not interested in any from 5-6 years from now. That seemed like a legitimate chance to possibly get a young, not superstar, but someone who could, a potential all-star caliber player.
Oh, I tell you what, like just based on young potential, I would do this.
Right. I mean, to me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Now, I don't know if that's if Detroit is at that position to where they want to get rid of him, but maybe if they get desperate enough, but that to me was at least, because you see some of these other ones and, and I was even going through it too, like what player under 25 is like realistically attainable. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and that's okay. And that's where I get in because it's like, that's okay. I wrote that one down for our Twitter poll. God,
what are your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, I know you said you would do it, but do you think that that's realistic? Do you think that that's fair compensation? I know I'm kind of just throwing it at you there, but
I would say it. I to be honest with you, if I'm the Pistons, I probably say no. For our sake, I hope it happens because I would love it. I don't. But then again, they haven't been starting him. There's rumors, and like I just follow NBA stuff that like he's pissed that he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's not.
I've always loved Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, I know, and I just think with because then you'd have Kobe, you have him. Like that's a
great backcourt already.
That's a great young backcourt. So, and then I think
I think Wiseman was put into a bad situation draft wise.
Yeah, agreed.
Wasn't he number 1 overall or 2 overall to Golden State? And it was like
at worst he was the number 2 pick.
Yeah. So it was like he didn't fit what they were looking for. He spent a lot of time in the D League. He kind of bounced around a little bit before he found a home here. We've talked about this. I hate giving up on young talent. I hate the idea of like us trading Patrick Williams or Kobe White or like
right. And I think that he's still only 22.
So yeah, that's a good one.
So I would wonder what else it would take, because I feel like
do we have to throw in Caruso? Do we have to throw in
right? I feel like Caruso
Torrey
would be
Craig.
a little bit too much. Right. That's yeah. See, and that's might be, if you throw a Torrey Craig in there, I'd be okay with that needing to be done to get the deal done.
My only other thing is, and I don't know how often, I know it does happen, is these like divisional trades.
That's the other big hang up on it. Yeah. Is that, trading within the division. But trading within the conference is sometimes difficult enough, let alone your own division.
But I'd say from our standpoint, God, I would love that.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I got. It's not as complicated. Not that I should say there's not as many moving pieces.
Yeah.
I have a straight up.
That's what I like. I like straightforward. Give it to me straight.
It's Zach LaVine to the 76ers.
Okay.
For Tyrese Maxey and a 2024 first-round pick. I don't think they do this at all. I think they're like, get bent. But they're in the market.
So you haven't seen this?
No, I haven't seen this.
I will go pick Zach up right now and deliver him personally to Philadelphia for that deal.
Yeah. Like I said, what I did is I started researching teams in the market for Zach LaVine.
Yes.
And then cooked up my own trades that I was
I like that. Well, and that's really probably the way to do it, because when you see these trades, like you keep seeing the one from the Lakers with D'Angelo Russell and Hachimura and what's the young guy from Indiana that they just drafted in the first round. I don't know what his name is, but
he has like 2 last names or something. Hood, Shafiro Hood, or
yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just and again, I don't think Philadelphia would do that, but it's like right now, I don't think Philadelphia beats Boston or Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, because they are probably although who knows what happens with the Lakers, but they're probably the team that might get the most desperate. Probably.
Yeah, it's like you have Embiid. He's not getting any younger. He's vocally said like this roster needs to improve. Like we need to get better.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they don't want to get rid of Maxey, but it's like we got it. Yeah. So I just was like, give me that.
Well,
give me young assets.
And that's always been, or at least, perceived to be Zach's greatest spot would be like the third option.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, not the 1, not even the 2, but if he's that third option.
And it's just like I saw like rumored trades. I'm like, I don't want Tobias Harris and
see, that's what I don't.
And a pick swap. I was like,
I know it's funny.
Zach LaVine for an older player, your 8th man off the bench, and a pick swap to a worse situation than we're in. Like.
It's funny what some of these, because you go on, I forget what side I was on, but you can just look at other people's proposed trades that were accepted or failed or whatever. And like, just because like it worked and is accepted, people think that it's like a good trade. Yeah. And it's literally like, Zach goes here, Alex or AC goes here, Vooch is involved in it, DeMar's in this, and the Bulls receive like 10 new players and like 2 second-round picks or something like.
Yeah, we would love that, but
yeah, right. I did see one where Austin Reeves was involved with it, and I said, okay.
All right, what's another one? I got one more.
So I had seen another one. Well, here you go with yours, because
okay. Now. This is a 2-player deal.
Okay.
And again, I'm not happy about any of this. I'm just saying this is a realistic thing where we're at. Zach and Caruso to Golden State for Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. This Brandon Podziemski.
I know who you're
first
talking
round
about.
pick.
Yeah.
First round pick.
Yeah, because that's another, not that one specifically, but the Bulls with the Warriors.
Yeah.
Matching up on a deal.
And when I look at their roster, I'm like, don't talk about sending me Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Loney, whoever you want to say that's on their roster and age. I don't want Gary Payton. I don't want that. I want your youngest.
Who was the guy that you said in the deal from the Warriors?
Kuminga.
Yeah.
And this Podziemski and a first round pick for AC and Zach. And I realize that first round pick is like in the 20s, but if we're bad enough, we have a top 10 pick. We have 2 first round picks. I'll be like, all right, hey, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I can't believe I don't know where that other one was.
Well, and I had like other ones that I'd like bat around, like going to the Knicks for RJ Barrett in a first round pick. Going to
right. And that's the thing is like whatever it is, we've said before, either young talent or draft picks, like relatively soon. And the one I can't remember, I think it was actually with Indiana that I saw, and it was them getting Zach. There was a third team. Anyways, it ended up where we had, because right now we have 1 first round pick in the next 2 drafts.
Yeah.
And in this trade, which I'll have to look it up, but we end up with 4 first round draft picks in the next 2 drafts. I was like, I don't care if it's 22 or 30 or like, I'll take them. I'll take all of them.
Yes, at least it's giving you young. Like, I just can't handle any more of seeing our 3 best players that are 28 and 32 or 33 and 34 years old, and we're still in the 8, 9, 10 spot.
Yeah.
It's like, it gives me zero hope for this year. It gives me zero hope for next year.
I know. And I think that's why it gets so depressing then when you see stuff like, Kyle Lowry to the Bulls. Like,
and it's like
that is like a way to really just like kick a man while he's down,
And I get if it's a salary thing and we're just cutting him. Like if it's like Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and a first round pick, I'm like, I get that.
Right.
But that's where I'm at. So we got a couple trades. If you find your other one, let me know and I'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah, I will.
But
yeah, it's because where we're at right now, like we've said before, we're not
sustainable for me.
No, exactly. So we need to, just see what we can get.
And then I should say, like, I was only doing like Zach trades. I understand there's AC trades. I understand that there's DeMar trades. I understand that there might be like, I haven't seen like any Vooch trades.
Yeah, I've only seen more like Vooch thrown in with like Vooch and Zach somewhere and whatever, but not on his own. Yeah,
it's just like it's time to clean house, and like I don't want to see any of these guys go, but like
right. But I think the one positive of this, if we get rid of DeMar, if we trade off Vooch, if we trade off Zach, then Patrick Williams, you don't have a choice. Like you have to step up offensively.
And so I think he has been lately.
Yes, I agree. And I think that would maybe even give him more of a chance. So then you can really evaluate and see what you have in him as opposed to, being with these 3 others, all-stars. But
But it's just we need something. I think AC is smart enough to recognize it, and like I see that top 10 protected, it just stays in my mind the whole time. So it's like not only are we just middling, we're losing young prospects while we're middling.
Yes, right. Yeah, let's get rid of everybody, fully tank out. Let's see what we can do with this year's draft, and maybe pick up another first rounder this year or next year, but. The roster will look significantly different in a month, I think.
That's what I've read. So we can hope.
Yeah.
Trevin, unfortunately, I got to get running.
Yep.
But as this is a good episode, I feel better. I will, if you send your other one, I wrote them down. I'm going to post this with a poll when I get home later tonight.
I love it.
And as always,
That's Al Dente. Al Dente.